Hello. Do you ever do that thing when you're doing a creative project where you just suddenly dry up? I used to write comics and then just had no ideas for writing stories. I just lost inspiration for it. Well, with comics, you'd spend ages writing them, and then obviously someone else was drawing them, spent ages doing that. The thing was finally finished. You'd put them out on a social media platform of your choice. Maybe you get like 3 likes and a couple of comments going, "Oh, it's good," from people you know, but a lot of people just ignore it, and you'd just be like, "What was the point in doing that?" So with this project where I talk about rap music, I've failed to make 3 videos so far. I tried one on the roots. I tried to do it on You Got Me. It was quite boring because You Got Me is just so straightforward, I felt, that I'm just literally reading the lyrics out and going, well, that's what that means. I tried one on None of Your Business by Salt and Pepper, and I just that was a song that I liked when I was 13. But I was it's quite interesting to talk about how I got into rap. I thought maybe is it? I don't know. So I'm second guessing myself a lot. Was going to do one on another song. I might still do that one. But I turned the camera on yesterday and just was I can't be fucking asked to talk about this. And then last night I made a stew, bacon, fried up the bacon, onions, got some sausage in there, got some carrots, red wine at that point, passata, beans, baked beans. Let that simmer for half an hour. Also put in some brown sugar and put in some coarse grain mustard. You could do with some potato. I'm with you there. No decent stew. What else was missing? I put that on Blue Sky. I got 30 likes. I don't give a fuck about the people liking it. 2 comments on my stew that I don't give a fuck about. But this, I care way more. When the Sun Village one that I did, episode 3, went up and got 5 views, I was like, oh, it's only 5 views. Oh, it doesn't... But I don't actually want... It's not I want to be famous from it. It's just I want to make things where I talk about rap songs. And I enjoyed that for the first series. And then I've just been overthinking it oh, it needs to be good. But it doesn't need to be perfect, I think is the point. The stew wasn't perfect. It didn't have potato or OXO cube in it. But a lot of people like the look of the stew. Do you get it? Anyway, we're going to do one on Blue and Exile. Because I saw Blue and Exile this week at the Jazz Cafe in Camden Town, up over there ish. Get the Central Line, get the Northern Line. You're in the Jazz Cafe, my friend. I've seen them live 3 times now, and every time they finish with Dancing in the Rain, which is the big hit, I guess. After Below the Heavens, they didn't really do a load of stuff together. I should say who they are. Blue is... God, it's weird that Blue's younger than me. That feels weird. But yes, he's from Los Angeles, California. Exile. Where are you from? Oh, also from LA. Exile's the producer and Blue's the rapper. That came out in 2007. In 2012, they did Give Me My Flowers While I Can Still Smell Them, which is fucking great. I love a lot of stuff like that. But mostly Blue did a load of solo albums. Exile did albums with other people. We did albums with Fashawn. It's really good stuff with him. 8 years after Give Me My Flowers While I Still Smell Them, Miles came out, really long album, 95 minutes, so, longer than Army of Darkness. Since then, the albums are coming out faster from Blue and Exile, so we've had Love the Ominous World and Time Heals Everything. And one interesting thing about this is I believe the next album will be an acronym of heavens, because we've had Love the Ominous World, which is the is in brackets, so it's LOW, and Time Heals Everything is THE. But you've got the B and the E from Blue Exile, so we've got below the so far. Anyway, should we get into the song? So from an interview with hiphopdx.com, where they asked about this song, Blue says, Dancing in the Rain is exactly what I was going through when I was going through it. I had a lady and I was working and shit. I was trying to rap and trying to keep up rent, but it got me frustrated. It was almost demeaning. I felt like I put 75% of my life into this and it doesn't do anything for me. I was talking to my boy the other day and asked him how long he'd been working at his job. He said a year, and I asked if he'd gotten a raise, and he said 50 cents. And I was like, all you've gotten from a year at your job was a 50-cent raise. That's wasting your life, you know what I'm saying? Just do something you want to do. Fuck a job. Fuck having a little bread right now. Bread is going to come at whatever you do. Interesting. I wonder on that, actually, because there's a lot of people that are in creative fields that are struggling. People that I think of as giants of the comics game that I was wanting to be like. But comics writers that write for 2000 AD, that write Judge Dredd, the greatest thing that you could possibly achieve with your life are struggling to get by. I don't think the attitude of like, if you're just working a normal job, like a salary job, you're wasting your life. I don't think it's necessarily true. I think you can have a fulfilled life and not do what you want to do. Shall we crack on? I've not even fucking started it. Verse 1. Here we go. Look, it's 6 o'clock. I'm hopping out of the bed. Rain falling, calling X, but my phone line's dead. They've put the letter X here, but I believe that is referring to Exile. I guess my bills ain't paid. No ride to work for the day. Second option, hop the bus, but there's a traffic delay. Oh. My boss tripping because I'm running late. It ain't no excuse. I used to have that. People caring about when you turned up to work. Since the pandemic, that's all gone. I think you like be commuting in. There's nothing you can do. And your boss is complaining at you like, oh, you're 5 minutes late. If you manage people, don't do that. Fucking grow up. So he says, when I'm about to be 22 without a whip I could swoop, that is a car, a whip is a car. Feel like I'm finna shoot my own dome with chrome to escape. He's contemplating suicide there, shooting his own dome with chrome, a gun to the head. Zoning out because working out ain't worth what I make. So his day job is not fulfilling him. My lady call him bugging, always fussing just because we ain't bowling, but it's hard because her cousin's fucking rich, because her husband's hustling, her husband's selling drugs, but I ain't fucking touching nothing but a mic. He's trying to live cleanly, but his girlfriend is complaining because they're not, like, going on fancy holidays or whatever her cousin is up to. 5 o'clock and off the work, ready to go home and write, but I ain't got a buck to catch the bus, chilling at the stop. Rain falling hard as ever and it's soaking my socks. Fuck it. Kicked my kicks off and took off my jacket. So now he's just like barefoot. Rolled my jeans up, beat up in my headphones blasting, blazed some weed up and started laughing while I'm splashing in puddles like motherfucker struggle. We dancing in the rain. And then he's gonna sing the chorus now, which I will sing. Why not? Don't nobody wanna dance slow in the rain. Just move your ass. Just move your ass. Don't nobody want to liberate the weight of the pain. So just move your ass. Just move your ass. When you're experiencing hard times, shake it off. I think we're going to come back to this later in the series. I certainly do want to approach this topic, but the idea of like the suffering that you experience in life is obviously that's going to happen. You don't sorry, there's people shouting outside. They're movers and shakers, and you can't do that job without shouting. Alright, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, suffering. You're going to experience suffering in life, but you don't have to suffer as a result of it. Because yeah, upsetting things are going to happen. But if you like start stressing about it and start like complaining and whining and acting like your life is the worst it can possibly be, it's going to get worse. Now, obviously, we've got mental illnesses in the world, and one of them is clinical depression, and that can be a hard thing to fight against. But I believe it is possible. It's not easy. Anyway, it's totally possible to get into a mindset where like bad things happen, and you will just like in this example, dance in the rain, and your negative thoughts are no different to the what we call bad weather when it's raining or when it's too hot. You treat those the same, and you just go through life with a feeling of calm inner peace. So let's crack on this second verse. Check it. Sometimes I hate taking trips to the lab. The lab is the studio. I don't know who's watching these videos, but obviously you will have heard Dr. Dre, how he's been in the lab with a pen and a pad trying to get the damn label off. Oh, speaking of pen and pad, the second line, got my pen and pad booking instruments in Smash, catch the bus regardless, trying hard to be an artist, but my A&R be calling me out my zone into his office. So obviously when you're trying to create art, you want to be in like a flow state in the zone. But his A&R, what does A&R mean? I know what it means, but I don't know what it stands for, you know what I mean? A&R stands for Artists and Repertoire. There you go. So they're like the people at the label that like are checking up on him. Being cautious because he don't want my record to brick, fail. Asking me how I think my project's progressing and shit. I said, cool. But the truth is I'm stressing to grip because it's hard to make music when this depression exists. Yeah, it's another reason why I picked this song. I'm not that I'm depressed. I'm not. Fine. I'm fine. But I have had a lot of depression in my life, diagnosed as bipolar, so like I've had a few manic episodes, but like most of the time the base level, certainly my 20s, the base level was depression, anxiety, fear, and those sort of things will stop you making art. And when I have dried up before, I used to make these videos with puppets when I was in my 20s, and that dried up because I just suddenly like got in my head about making him. And writing comics dried up twice. Got in my head about not being good enough, and like you try and write something, and you're just like, shit, it's not good enough. Like it's not going to get where I want to get. And let's carry on. You get what I'm saying. They say use it as inspiration. The best of them did. Well, that's them, see, because I can't handle this pressure for shit. And if you ask me, stress is a bitch. My girl need more attention and my record label's desperate for hits. Now I'm pissed, because I'm getting out the zone again. Makes me start to dread when I see a microphone and shit. It ain't supposed to be like that. I said I'll be right back. I left the office, got a phone, and called my partner Jack. He's called his friend up. And I asked him, remind me why I'm rapping, is the next line. But I think we can interpret this as an internal question as well. Why is he rapping? And right before he answered, I remembered my passion in the past when I was scribbling in my tablet to box out my mom and dad's scrapping, so like to zone them out like he would write rhymes when his parents were fighting, to help me when my grandmother passed, plus the many times when I was homeless and the times when I was broke. So like he used an artistic expression to deal with his feelings. So it wasn't him trying to make money off it or trying to impress people or anything. He was literally just using the art form to process thoughts. This music made a way when I was hopeless. He's rapping because that was his expression in life. And that's what this song is doing as well. He's literally got writer's block and he's made a song to get over the writer's block, and it turned out to be one of their biggest hits. But he probably wasn't intending for that to be the case. There's other people that wrote songs about writer's block. Labby Frey's Hotel song is a great example of that, where he's just like, last night I felt I'd never ever write another song. Last night I felt that all the songs I write are wrong. And then he's like writing the song to get over the fact that he's feeling shit about his creative ability. And that's what I've done with this video. We got over it. We'll crack on. So the last two lines of this song are Jack's response to Blue when he's asked him why do I rap. He told me to remember the rain, it will diminish the pain, and he told me not to ask him again because I know. See you next time.